So today we are going to give a brief introduction of applied linguistics. So what is applied linguistics? What is applied linguistics? In one word.
Enriching real-life communication skills, teaching skills.
If you tell me in one sentence. When we are applying our theoretical linguistic knowledge in the practical language teaching or practical situations, that is called, that specific study is called applied linguistics. Applied linguistics, that means when you are the particular study that addresses the application of linguistic knowledge. So what are the learning outcomes and objects of reading this course? The first one is that we will understand the definition of applied linguistics, and we will explore key characteristics and scope. The key features of applied linguistics and what are those scopes. Like there are broad areas that applied linguistics focus. As I said earlier, this is not only about SLA, second language acquisition. It also addresses psycholinguistics, sociolinguistics, and other scopes. And then we will learn the history, how it evolved throughout the years, decades. Then we will differentiate linguistics versus applied linguistics. What are the differences between them? Then we will engage in discussions and quizzes. So this is the first warm-up question to you. What do you think applied linguistics is, and can it solve real-life language problems? Yes. So we are going to see it. So what Chomsky said, to learn a language is to construct for oneself this abstract system, of course unconsciously. So when we learn a language, as if, for example, we learn a Bangla, it is thought that we learn the abstract system unconsciously. Even if I ask you some rules, you might not easily tell me, but you are unconsciously using it. So to learn a language is to construct for oneself this abstract system, but you have that abstract system in yourself. You have built it throughout the years unconsciously. And the linguist and psychologist can proceed to study the use and acquisition of language only insofar as they have some grasp of the properties of the system that has been mastered by the person who knows the language. So, as these linguists, psychologists and linguists, they know how these things work. Like they have those abstract knowledges. They knows the theories. General mass, they don't know, but these linguists, as they know it, now this is their job to proceed to study the use of language, how people use it. So they are more advanced. So Chomsky said that regarding applied linguistics. So do you want to write it? Please write it down. The definition is very important. Done? Done? Okay. তোমার শেষ হয়েছে বাবা? আচ্ছা শেষ কর। So, according to Noam Chomsky, applied linguistics is not just about teaching language, but it focuses on understanding the underlying structure of a language and applying that knowledge to real world problems like language learning, translation, and also in communication disorders. Maybe we can use this linguistic knowledge in communication disorders, like those children who have speech problems, speech delaying, তাই না? সো ওই যে ইন্টেন্স যে প্র্যাকটিস বিহেভিয়ারিজম থেকে বা কোনোভাবে সো ওই প্রবলেমগুলো কমিউনিকেশন ডিসঅর্ডারগুলো মেবি দূর করা যাবে। সো অ্যাপ্লাইড লিঙ্গুইস্টিক্স ইজ নট জাস্ট অ্যাবাউট লার্নিং দ্য ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ বাট রাদার knowing the grammar, knowing the structure, knowing how it works and applying it after knowing that, applying in the real life problems, challenges. বুঝতে পারছি আমরা? So see, pragmatics and discourse analysis যেখানে হয় দেখো there are two stages. In the first stage, linguistic, where we understand the deep structure, rules and mastery of sentence syntactically. We understand these things, and then language use at the surface structure, producing sentences and understanding sentences, performance. তাই না? দুই ভাগে ভাগ করা যায় না? একটা হচ্ছে competence and another one is performance, actual use of language in real situations. So applied linguistics, they just analyze those real world performance and they get the abstract things, how this works, and whatever they find out, they apply in solving the challenges. বুঝতে পারছি রিজওয়ানা? So another definition, কি হলো? একটু পজ করো। So another definition from David Crystal, according to him, applied linguistics is the effort to find out the relationship between language research and practical problems involving language in society. So it deals with the real language that is in the society and what is the relationship between language research. Like we are making theories, we are doing some researches, but if there is no practical connection with the practices, then there is no applied linguistics. So applied linguistics is basically the match between the relationship between the research and practical problems involving language in the society. The real life language, we will deal the real life language problems. Done? এই দুজন কোথায়? ওর ব্যাগ আর এটা এই ব্যাগটা ডান? ওকে, শেষ। So Crystal emphasizes practical application of linguistic research and focuses on real-world problems such as language teaching, policy translation, and communication disorder. And it highlights the bridge between the theory and practice in language studies. So the connection between theory and practice. So other definition by Richards and Smith. Applied linguistics is the study of language and problems related to language in the world outside the classroom. So according to them, it's the study of language and of problems related to language in the world outside the classroom. So this is not specifically in between the classroom, but that language that happens beyond the classroom, even the interaction between you and the taxi driver, the interaction between you and the maybe who? Uber driver. Okay? So everything is connected, everything is included in applied linguistics. So they basically focus on practical language problems, not just the theory. It includes areas like language teaching, language assessment, translation, policy, emphasizes solving real world issues using linguistic knowledge. So Alan Bell, according to him, applied linguistics is concerned with the identification and solution of language related problems in the world. So more or less they are focusing on the same thing. So they are focusing on the practical language problems that is going in the world. So you can read these books, like these are the reference section to get more understanding of these things. If I can finish this slide, then I will upload. I apprehend that I may not finish it because I have to work on it on some points, some topics still unfinished. Maybe in the next class I will finish it and will upload it. ওর নামটা কি জানো? Mamun is in another world now, thinking about applied linguistics in the in the world of applied linguistics. So he also emphasizes the practical problem solving aspect of applied linguistics. So it is more action oriented, not purely theoretical. So আমরা যেমন SLA তে দেখেছি it's kind of theory, but however we tried to connect it with our real life context. So applied linguistics is more into
Connected to real life.
yes. So key characteristics, one is the interdisciplinary approach. Second characteristics of applied linguistics is that it has problem solving orientation. Like theory is telling something abstract, it giving the definition, the features, but applied linguistics, those people who are into the applied linguistics, whenever they see the challenges, they have that gut to solve the problem, who are very action oriented, like how will I solve it. They have that problem solving mentality. Yes, action based. Real world focus. So they have that outcome, like why I am reading this, why I have to study, because I want to solve the problems that is ongoing in our educational context. So this has real world focus, and then combines theory and practice. There is not only practice, because it has solid theory and it is applied in the practical situation. So why it is regarded as interdisciplinary approach? Interdisciplinary means it combines different subjects, different scopes, like it draws on linguistics, psychology, sociology, education and computer science. All are intertwined. That's why it is called interdisciplinary approach. Then it collaborates all the things. So it encourages collaboration across fields to understand, solve language related problems. So when you want to we want to find out the solution, you have to go through different approaches, isn't it? You will get the solution, you try to get the help from psychology, from linguistics, education for this solution. So problem solving orientation, it focuses on identifying real world issues and finding practical solutions. Example কি ছিল, ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ টিচিং চ্যালেঞ্জেস, ট্রান্সলেশন ইস্যুস, এগুলো আমরা দেখেছি যে এই প্রবলেমগুলোই হচ্ছে ই করবে real world focus concern. It is concerned with the language in use, not just abstract theory. And applied linguistics work on policy assessment, language planning and professional communication. Language teaching and learning, how it addresses in the language teaching and learning, it actually focuses on improving methods and approaches for teaching language. So there are many situations, like one method is being used in the class but the students are not getting the maximum outcome. So it deals with these issues, like what are the problems in that particular method, why this has not been successful in teaching the students. Okay, why the grammar translation method, after studying in grammar translation method but students don't get that skills, or direct method is incorporated in our educational situation from very long, like we are reading advanced reading and writing, isn't it, communicative English, but still after passing 12 they can't communicate in English properly. So applied linguists, they will see the things that is in between the system, and they will find out the problems and they will come up with practical solutions. Okay, so that's it. For example, communicative language teaching, CLT, task based learning, grammar translation and audiolingual method, and they will see how to incorporate these things to make the class more dynamic, like they are not choosing one or two, maybe they are getting the best of from each of them, like communicative, maybe they have some good features, then they will connect. Yes. So and successful applied linguists, they have that creative genius, so they can create their own from mixing these kind of things, these kind of methods and approaches. So and applied linguistics can also involve in curriculum design, material development, and teacher training. So these are the teaching and learning areas. Like teacher training is sometimes it's needed. Like outcome-based education is a very new phenomenon in our country. Like where courses will be designed based on the skills. What are the skills they are going to achieve? Thanda bodh hoy na? So they are going to achieved. So for this, teachers extensively teacher training is very important. So an applied linguist will address this issue. The teacher training is needed, and they will design the training session, and the key they will address the key competency a teacher needs to adopt. So, and also how to design more realistic classroom material. So they will observe each of the things and the situation, the problems, and they will come up with the exact solutions. So language learning e kibhabe address kore? Studies how people acquire first or second language. Amra SLA te porechi na?
Yes, ma'am.
So this will see how we actually learn the language. If we can identify how we acquire, then it will be easier for the teachers to teach the students. Then includes research on language acquisition theories, learning difficulties, motivation strategies. All of them we have seen and covered in the last semester. So applied linguistics applies findings to enhance classroom learning and assessment. Also, not only the classroom teaching, material development, also the assessment evaluation system important. Why Bangladesh fails to give that quality education, and how the assessment system are affecting our learning and teaching practices. Do you think that the assessment system also affects the teaching and learning practices? Like see, in the university, it is expected from university students that they will do researches, real life researches. But the thing is that the assessment system has made them in that way that they memorize things. So applied linguists will also work on that assessment and evaluation system. They will evaluate, observe it, and they will come up with better assessment system. Okay? So you see challenges are everywhere. So language assessment and testing, it focuses on measuring language proficiency and performance. So evaluates listening, speaking, reading, helps in monitoring learner progress and improving teaching methods. So what is language assessment? It's like measuring one's proficiency. We know, all of us know that. So here we see there are different kinds of language testing. Isn't it? Types of test: proficiency test, achievement test, diagnostic test, placement test. So proficiency test is overall language ability, how proficient you are. There are different kind of tests. Then achievement test, what learners have learned. Like you have your achievement test, final exam, midterm exam, to see what you have achieved throughout the course and semester. Then diagnostic test, like I can sometimes administer a diagnostic test to identify what are the problems that you are facing, to diagnose your current situation. Then placement test, like you see in while you were school going student, like you had section A, section B, and placing the student according to their merit. Taina? So that's it. So it works also, the scope is also forensic linguistics or legal language. So applies linguistics knowledge to legal and criminal investigation. So it's on. So in Bangladesh, this forensic linguistics is not that popular. But if you go abroad, especially in UK, US, one of my students from batch 10 was telling me that, ma'am, in our Bangladesh, English is taken as the subject like a potato, like you are everywhere, but it doesn't has any kind of value. Okay, so there you can start your full-fledged profession on linguistics. Like there is forensic linguistics, where the applied linguistic, the knowledge you get from a language, you can apply it in legal and criminal investigators. Like when you are talking with them, you are constantly searching what are the gap in their speech, so you can easily find out while communicating with them. You have that knowledge and you apply it in criminal investigation. Understood? So analyze spoken or written evidence, authorship, meaning in legal text, and helps in solving crimes, disputes, and understanding courtroom communication, everything, because we are greatest in language. We know what's implied meaning there. So those who are very interested in reading in studying in linguistics, you can also take this forensic linguistics if you want to study abroad for your masters or PhD. This is a good. So legal language studies the language of laws, contracts, and legal documents, focuses on clarity, interpretation, communication in legal context, and ensures that legal texts are understandable and enforceable. So texts they analyze. So see, language has a broader scope. Language is everywhere, in society, in classroom, outside classroom, everywhere. So you have huge potentiality to do better in life. So this scope shows how applied linguistics stands beyond classroom. They are saying same thing. This scope shows how applied linguistics extends beyond classroom into law, justice, and social communication, bridges linguistic theory and practical problem solving in legal context. So far that's it. Okay, now turn off.
Yeah.